I would like to welcome everyone to this special episode of the Tim and Tom Sneaker Podcast, live from the Milky Way, Melkweg Amsterdam. We're here to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the sneaker documentary, Just for Kicks, and we won't be doing this alone. Next to me we have El Sahbi, a.k.a. visitor of many countries and runner of many miles, a.k.a. Mr. Patta himself, Edson Sabajo.
Hey.
Dankjewel.
And next to him is my sneaker podcast colleague, owner of many hats and even more sneakers. He doesn't know how many because he's in denial.
I don't want to know.
I give it up for Tommy Trigger.
Yeah. Thank you.
And my name is Tim Beumers, so that's about it.
Beumers, he got a new album out, Haute Couture, better buy it. It's really good. Buy it. Buy the stuff. Just came out like a week ago.
Free promo.
Yeah, really good. Okay, go.
Top 3 rapper above 50 years old.
Yes.
In the Netherlands.
Yes.
And it's the first time we're doing this podcast in English, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because, of course, Thibaut is joining us, so we had to do it in English.
Yeah. I'm very sorry. No, it's not. As long as we don't have to do this in French, it's all good. No. It's the extra special surprise.
Pas de problème.
No. But before we start, we want to ask a couple of questions. One of my first questions is to Edson.
Oh, yeah.
You guys opened Patta in 2004.
Yeah.
This movie came out in 2005.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You watched it back then?
Sorry?
Did you watch the movie back then?
Watched the movie. Great. So that's why we're going to watch it again.
Yeah, but what was the impact? Were you like, we're going back to New York? Were there things that you really recognized?
No, the impact was more like, oh shit, they're doing the same what we do. So it was really fun to see. And that we have like peers and people that are similar as us. And of course, because we started Patta in 2004, but I'm starting collecting sneakers since 89. So for me, it was like more like, oh, great. And it's just sneakers, a bunch of rubber and glue and sneakers. That's one of our outfits, and it's really needed for us, especially in our culture, where we're from, especially the Caribbean culture. Normally you have 3 pairs of sneakers. One you just play football with, the other you just go to church or whatever, and the other you go to school. So for us, it's like normal to have multiple pairs of sneakers. So when Just for Kicks came out and somebody had like 200 pairs, I was like, oh shit, I also got 200 pairs. Okay, cool, whatever. So, and then also the essence of sneakers, what it means for your whole outfit, and everything what comes with it. So it was great to see some stuff.
You just asked me if it was normal for people, like for all people, to have more than 10 pairs of sneakers.
Yeah.
So we can do a check. Does everybody here have more than 10 pairs of sneakers? Who doesn't? No, who doesn't? Yeah, who doesn't? It's 2. So this isn't a representation of the normal world, but it's 2. So.
Great.
Are there any people that haven't seen Just for Kicks yet?
Oh, wow. Nice.
So you're in for a treat then.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny how this all came to play, because I have this DVD sitting in my office at home, and I walk past it like pretty much every day. I actually have 2 copies. I don't know why, but it's very fitting to sneaker culture, because you need one to play and one to stock, of course.
That's
yeah, that's why. So there was a couple of weeks ago, I walked past it and I looked at it, and I was just wondering, how long has it been since this came out? And it was 2005, so I make the quick calculation, and it was 20 years. And as I always do with my Instagram, I post a lot of anniversaries of old albums that I really like, or anything that's related to the cultures I really like. I'm gonna post that on my Instagram stories, because I think it's important to remember those things. So I posted it on my Instagram story, Just for Kicks 20th anniversary, and Edson saw it, and he just commented, we have to do something with that. And I said, let's go. And now we're here doing this celebration of this iconic sneaker documentary. There hasn't been anything better after that, and it's already 20 years. So I think it's important that stuff like this is being remembered, because it's a very important historic piece of history, I think. So I'm glad we're here together to celebrate 20 years just
Great
for kicks.
speech. Yeah, good. Fantastic.
Edson, in the movie, there's a quote that I need to leave my house every day just knowing that I have the illest shit that no one else has. Did you identify with that quote back there?
Yeah, because I had the illest shit that nobody else had.
And you still do.
Yeah, I still do.
But do you still live during that motto? Did it tone down with the years?
Yeah, it toned down, of course, because I'm getting older and older. But yeah, especially the 90s, nobody could fuck with me, especially in Amsterdam or in Europe or whatever.
You went from Amsterdam to Europe.
Yeah.
You know, my street, Europe, the world.
No, for real, because that's what I do. I travel a lot. I think it's one of the most precious things to do is to travel and travel a lot and to meet people and to actually see like, oh, what you got on your feet. And most of the time when I had shit on my feet, people would break their neck. So, you know, that's what I do. Real simple. And that's why from that passion came Patta in 2004. We had the illest shits. Nobody could ever like deny that. We had like we still had like, especially 2004 till like 5 years in, we had like the illest shit. Yeah, simple.
Yeah. At some points, the documentary is also very confronting because there are certain motives in that film that I still have till this day, like buying too much sneakers, like just buying too much stuff. It's also very confronting, but I also still believe those motives. I still believe those quotes that we just quoted from, like the Tommy Rebel quote, or any other quote in there, like Bonds Malone, for example. But it's also at the same time very confronting because we know at the end of the day, all that stuff doesn't matter because it's all because having like family, health, and all that other stuff is just stuff. But then again, I still have the same motives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to tone it down because I needed to buy a new car. So I cannot drive that far on a stack of shoes. But it's recognizable. Last question for you, Edson, because I know you don't really like to talk about.
No, totally not.
If there was a Just for Kicks for the Netherlands, who needs to be in there besides you?
Oh, Just for Kicks, Netherlands? Elvis, Elive, you, of course. The people from the shop called Roots in Amsterdam, back in the 80s, they were like one of the first, let's say, resellers. Smith Graaf, and a lot of other people we met. Yeah, we too, of course. But I think for the foundation, definitely Smith Graaf, Roots, Sportpaleis, people from there. Like the old, the mom and pop shops, basically.
Cool. Thibaut, could you join us? Tommy's gonna introduce you because.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Thibaut de Longeville, the director of the movie.
Yes.
And in the beginning, it was not even planned that Thibaut was joining this screening, and which is even greater because we had such a good conversation over the emails. We, of course, by the way, we also have we created a free gift for everybody. So everybody's gonna receive a gift at the end of the screening, kind of like a souvenir linked to the documentary, of course. And we created that together with Thibaut's team. So very thankful that everything went down so smoothly. And it's great to have you with your team joining us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. And we have a couple of questions for you.
You can start it off.
I can start.
Yeah.
What inspired you to create Just for Kicks?
I would say the same passion that Edson was talking about. I think I had iller shit than him.
It's a battle.
You know, I mean, he said in Amsterdam, in Europe, you picked it up yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you went from Amsterdam to the European Union.
Yeah, he was looking at you when he said
gloves.
It was weird.
You saw that too.
Yeah, it was
you
weird.
saw that too.
And this is correct.
No,
The gloves are coming off.
but no, jokes aside, it's you know, there's the passion of loving good design and enjoying what the product is. I think the initially I was looking to make a book. Actually, this is a time where the most dominant publications that had interesting references and interesting stories were mostly Japanese, so Boon and all of these things. And I started writing the book, and just documenting and just writing the book. And then along the way, I learned that a guy named Bobbito Garcia was working on the book himself. So I was, and I knew Bobbito from before, and I was like, ugh, do I really want to? Because basically the motivation behind the book was that there was nothing of reference that did something else than cataloging sneakers. So something that actually was going in depth with the culture, the motivations, and the romance that we created. And I'm saying we as a community. It wasn't as much about like revering the product and like, oh my God, I'm collecting so many sneakers. It was mostly, my point of view was about, we created this romance. These brands who put these sneakers out, a great design, great product, or else we wouldn't be, 50 years old talking about, fucking, I have more shit than you, and, Air Maxes, and,
the
know
culture
what I mean?
added the story.
But we added the story, and we contributed so significantly to something that's basically mass market production. And there was so many, interesting things that went into play. But for me, as a filmmaker, what I think is and still is so interesting about this quote unquote culture is the fact that it's not what was planned. The sporting brands made shoes for you to run faster, wear to play the sport, and that's it. So God forbid someone make sneakers that look kind of cool. It's main purpose is still to play sports. And so it really took hip hop and overall street culture, but really hip hop as a schizophrenic engine of like appropriating brands and just the dynamics of that, I thought was actually a good storytelling device beyond my interest for sneakers to create an entertaining film. And so, and that was it basically. Like halfway through writing the book, actually while writing the book, I was like, Run D.M.C. and Adidas, and breaking down the defining moments of what created the culture, birthed a global culture, and then impacted the global economy. I thought was very interesting. Just even if you're really not into sneakers at all, I was interested in what that conveyed. So there you have it.
How old were you at the time?
We have to say ages?
Yeah, we do. In this case, we do. Sorry.
All right. So 2005, 31.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 when I started, actually. We were talking about this on the way here. Shot most of the film in 2004. So yeah.
Okay.
Precisely 30 years old.
Okay.
How did you decide which stories, brands, and voices needed to be in the film?
Through writing, initially, because I had performed so much of the writing, and so the stories that I thought were most revealing of the point of view and the points of view that I was trying to come across. Part of it was access to whomever, but it was, even if I had no access to the characters that you see in the film, I would have told a similar story, or that story actually. Some characters just revealed to be phenomenally interesting characters, on-screen characters, but the stories were pretty much the same. I learned a few things from the doc, which is always cool when you do a doc to learn stuff yourself. I was, knowledgeable about the subject matter, going into it, and with all the research. But I'm thinking, and then by default, I actually conducted. I'll tell you this. It's my first doc, by the way. It was my first doc. I had done as a producer other things, but as a director, it's my very first doc. And I made a lot of mistakes, like beginner's mistakes. Doing too many interviews. And that's actually my editor at the time is a brilliant editor. He's like, yeah, you're a sneaker collector.
That's why. Yeah.
Someone was like, yo, why,
you were collecting interviews as well.
And I was like, no, we can't do this
Hoarding
if
this.
we don't have, such and such.
Yeah.
It's not, it needs to be everybody.
How did you get the access then to all the persons in the doc?
That is interesting because I'm from France.
Yeah, I know.
And the access, So for people to hear it, the majority of the characters are in North America because that's where the phenomenon was birthed. And so people are so attached to this, to the territorial notion of all of this, that for them to have a French person or a French crew calling them, oh, I'm doing a documentary about sneaker culture, the number one answer was no. Because you're not, you're
not part of the culture in North America.
Yeah.
But how did you then pursue and then got it? Like, is it like references from somebody like a Bobbito or
yeah, I think it was persistence and going through some of the people who are in the film.
Yeah.
I had known for quite some time, were actually very good friends of mine. So started with them, and there was another project going on at the same time, which is I'll say a quick thing about it. Nike, actually Jordan Brand had commissioned a huge documentary project, which was going to be called Sneakerheads. And it was something that was spearheaded by their advertising agency, White & Kennedy. And they had hired a director, and they had, I think, $1 million budget, and it was already across. The information was already out. Before I shot a single frame of Just for Kicks, I knew that the plan was for them to premiere at Tribeca Film Festival in 2004 and show it. And so from the onset, I had, in my perimeters, okay, Bobbito's book is coming out at some point, which I believe it came out that year. And there was this project going on with like the A-team, it's Jordan, so no one says no. It's, it's huge budgets and, it's that
access,
kind of access. So that was also something I took into account, as in I actually knew people who were working on the project, and in the end, they actually shelved the project. So this is a film that maybe at some point we'll get to see. And I hate to say it, but I'm the person responsible for it. That they shelved the project.
Did they shelve the project?
I'll take it.
You take it.
I'll take it. But I was actually, fun story. I was actually told in these exact words. At several stages, but the most interesting and the most entertaining for this audience is I was told this by Michael Jordan
himself.
Yeah.
And what, at his house or what? How did it work? Like you went to?
I haven't been to. That's a very good question.
No, I'm just wanting to know.
Like fuck you.
No.
No.
So this is a dinner in Paris. This is a 2006 dinner in Paris. And I run a basketball tournament also in Paris, which is called K54.
It's huge.
Something different than this. And I get to meet this guy.
Yeah.
Which, for anyone, obviously, is quite a big deal.
It's kind of cool.
And someone introduces me to him. He's at the dinner table with it's a big Jordan dinner.
Yeah.
And you think you're having dinner with Michael Jordan, but really having dinner over there.
Yeah.
And he's having dinner with them. And he's with his real friends, so Derek Jeter, the president of Jordan Brand. Yeah. Someone brings me to him, the president of Jordan Brand, whom I had met and knew that I was that guy. Right? So he walked me to Jordan, and so we shook hands. Right, Michael Jordan's hand is quite big, and I've been around like famous people, whatever. Never Michael Jordan. So I'm going to talk to him, and my hand is all sweaty. Right? It's like it's this little shaky hand inside his hand, and it felt the weirdest. And he shook it, right? And so I'm walking to the table. He's like, ha ha ha! It's like a movie. Michael Jordan, not like
No.
And so he's like, ha ha ha, and someone goes to talk to him in his ear. So already he's a little bothered, So he shakes the hand and he listens to the introduction, like whatever they have to tell him. And so he's shaking the hand and he's like, you must be good at what you're doing, young man, because you beat us at something.
Sick.
And we never beat. We never beat it at anything.
No.
Bro, I was done. I was done.
I like that.
I hate to defeat
I like that.
something else, but what's interesting...
He doesn't like to lose it.
And that what ties to like getting the access is actually Bobbito, Clark Kent, the guys from High and Mighty, which
of course.
And a couple of other people like that who were like super knowledgeable about the culture, told the other production as it was going on, like, yo, not for because they knew like we were shooting at the same time. I was shooting with like 100 euros, and they were shooting with like 100 million. You know what I mean?
No.
Compared to the actual budgets, and so But they told him, they were like, yo, not for nothing, the French dude, we gave a better interview to him because he just had better questions, you know? And it created this thing where they were like, no, what? Oh, wow. And so that worked in my favor in a sense of, even while shooting, there was a notion of like, okay, this guy's, you know, this might only be shown on like on French TV. Wherever the fuck he's doing that for, he's legitimate about what he's doing. But
didn't they wanted to, like Jordan Brand say like, okay, let me buy you out?
Of course that happened.
You know, what happened then? So they came with a contract, or what happened? Just a side note.
Well, what happened, so, you know, interesting. So,
sorry.
This is all fact that I never spoke about. So, you know, if this is boring to you guys, just say it.
Yeah,
but,
sorry,
you know,
sorry.
it might be boring before you see the movie, but still,
this is
you know,
gonna be great, 'cause
I have more Michael Jordan stories.
I want to hear this shit. Go ahead.
But what happened was they so
yeah, of course.
In terms of shutting me down, I actually was working with Nike since 1998, so I knew a lot of people. Whatever. Yeah. When I said I'm doing this, they were like, okay, and then they shut me down of everything I asked.
Of course.
Of access to people, archives, everything. They were like, we can no longer work with you. Like,
logic.
And that happened at one meeting at Whiting and Ketty, New York. We sat down and they were like, yo, there can't be two iconic or like seminal whatever documentaries about sneaker culture coming out at the same time. You know, we've heard, you know what you're talking about. This is what we offer. Ours comes out first. And you're the little brother to what we do. We are the voice of, you know, there's too much at stake here.
Yeah.
And so they give us this whole speech. And I'm with my production partner, who's a little arrogant fuck from back then.
I like that.
And so we listened to the whole spiel. And I'm so insecure about the whole thing that I'm like, yeah, you guys go first. You're fucking Michael Jordan. Like, just, you know, I'm glad to piggyback, you know? And my guy, very funny character. He goes, I'm sorry to say, but, you know, we were not ready to. He's like, I'm sorry to say, but we'll be first to market.
That's what's up.
And they were like, that froze the whole meeting, right? They're like, he was like, yeah, no, I don't, we're going to be leading the scene. We have the authentic whatever. But really, he was about using first to market as a term. Everything stopped from then on. I actually had to do, you know, go through loopholes to interview Tinker Hatfield just because he's for real.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck about like Nike policy or anything like that. He was like, you're doing what? Let me come. I went to Portland on Christmas Day. He saw me on Christmas Day. It's a very lonely place. The Nike headquarters on Christmas Day, and he gave me an interview on Christmas Day. Phenomenal guy. And that's the only actual Nike source I had for something that, you know, I had a million Nike stories in there. But yeah, so they said, if you know, accept to be in your place, you know, we could help you market and have your presence and whatever. And so we walked out of there with them like going, okay, we can't do shit for you now. And I was irate at my producer. I was like, why? But he was right. You know, he was right. We ended up premiering at Tribeca Film Festival with great success, if I may say. Yeah. And they ended up, all of them came to that first Tribeca. They wanted to see it.
Yeah, of course.
And did you give them access? Or?
Of course, no, I was happy to. I was happy to. The crew that worked on it were like, you know, good people. But in the end, they, after the screening, it was a phenomenal screening, and, you know, Tribeca is a wonderful festival. I didn't know it at the time, but they decided, the entire Nike organization, to shelve the film the night that they saw Just for Kicks.
Sick. Okay,
basically.
Yeah. That's nice.
Thibaut.
And the further information is, at that time, they started with like $1 million budget. At that time, they were up to 1.6.
But they
so they shelved the 1.6.
But they never asked you like, hey, listen, man, I got this 1 or 2 million. I'll give it to you. You make the movie. They didn't do that.
That conversation happened, yes.
Happened too. And
yeah.
Like,
and
that.
The reality for me is, you know, pretty much everything I had to say that was authentic and that felt right to me is in here. So, you know, I wouldn't have spit on like $1.6 million, whatever. Okay. But I didn't think it was useful at the time. Now that I'm broke, maybe I'll do it.
You're not broke. How are you broke?
but
You're not
I'm
broke.
hoping they listen to this
No.
podcast. I take back everything I said.
You're not broke, bro. You're not broke. The new movie's coming out, like the Medi one. Oh, it's already out.
Yeah.
already out?
It's been out in France and we're releasing
Dope.
globally soon.
Okay.
And that's and I have this is my 10th. I'm up to my 10th movie now, so
Okay, it's gonna
did a couple of things afterwards.
We're gonna show it over here, of course. Let's make it happen.
I'm super about it.
no,
I'm
no.
super about it.
Okay.
Thibaut.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
No.
I got one more question. Yeah? Sorry? Yeah? One more question. Like after all these years, Thibaut, what moment or interview in the documentary still stands out the most to you?
It's a difficult question because I thoroughly enjoyed specifically the interviews and and the human beings that were involved. Like I said, some of them were my friends. Other people, it was just a chance for me to meet. So some surprising moments are very dear to me. Like Bones Malone is a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I didn't expect we were just fucking around. I didn't even think that we were gonna edit whatever he was saying. And so for me, it's there's something special about that. And but as a hip hop fan, I mean, for me, uncovering the whole documenting and just the what happened with the archives behind the whole Run D.M.C. My Adidas story is something that I'm extremely proud of because everything that most of what you'll see in the doc had not only never been spoken about in detail or with the actual information. But also, I basically, through the production process, came across archives that were nowhere to be found. When I started the project, I went to see every Run D.M.C. biographer, producer, people who had access to Run D.M.C. archives. And I was asking for specific archives. I went to Adidas headquarters, asked also for archives. No one had them, just no one. And by an act of sneaker god, whoever that is, if it's not Michael Jordan, I actually came across archives that since I had to give to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I had to double on, and it was beyond my wildest dreams, and it's something that Bill Adler, who's the official biographer of Run D.M.C. When I started, and he's in the film, and I interviewed him, I was like, "Yo, I'm looking for such and such archives," and he was like, "Kid, all of us." Entire Run D.M.C. organization has been looking for these archives for about 20 years. So, in the 6 months that you have to make this film, I doubt that you'll find them. And when I actually found them,
But you didn't get from
I gave him a call.
Okay,
I gave him a call. I was like,
Got him.
Got him.
and so that for me is like a, once in a million thing.
definitely.
It's like you can't. It's the joy. It's the equivalent to the joy of it's bigger than the joy of digging records and finding that incredible sample or
that's it,
those dead stock
definitely.
Humaras that I had that you didn't have.
Well, we're gonna talk later. Don't worry.
Yeah. We have to go to a special guest.
We
I
have
guess.
another special guest, friend of yours, friend of mine. How does this work?
No, you can just say hi. And then we got Mats. Mats doing that. Hey. Without further notice, let us allow to introduce.
Can you hear us, Bobbito?
No, it's free.
I can totally hear you. What's up, everybody? Peace, man. Much love, yo.
Yeah.
It's good, Joe.
Welcome, Bobbito Garcia.
Cool, Bob Love.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Gotta shout out my brother Edson. He reached out to me back in May and was like, "Yo, Bob, I'm doing something." I didn't even blink an eye. To be, I got you. I don't talk about sneakers that much anymore. But I was like, for you, I'll do this. And it's so lovely to hear T-Bow's voice. He's a dear friend. We have known each other since the 90s. And, we actually did a project together. My first film, doing it in the park, Pickup Basketball NYC, was executive produced by Thibaut de Longeville. So, and I'm wearing a Patta shirt right now. To
Come on. Let's come on.
And shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to the podcast.
Yes.
And just much love all around, man. I'm learning stuff right now, even as I'm listening to Edson and Thibaut talk. So it's a beautiful thing.
My brother.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Bobbito.
Welcome. Bobbito, you did a lot I just have some highlights here. In the 1990, you wrote Confessions of a Sneaker Addict for the Source magazine. You opened and ran a sneaker boutique, Footwork, from 96 till 2000. You released a book, Where'd You Get Those? You brought sneakers to ESPN. I've one
legendary radio show.
Yeah,
Stretch Armstrong, of course.
I have one question. Why? Why did you do? Why? What's your drive? Why you? Why?
I enjoy what I do. You know, I'm a passionate dude, and it's never about me, right? Like anything that I've done, even in the autobiographical sense. I just released a memoir, Bobbito's book of People Bong Bong. I directed a film. My third one, Rock Rubber 45s, is an autobiographical documentary. But even in those instances, it's still about the community, my family, my global network, you know. And I felt like in all those instances, especially, you know, when I invented sneaker journalism at The Source magazine with my article, it's like I relish the opportunity to raise people's awareness, you know. So whether there's a radio show or, you know, in the basketball context, my tournament, it's like I'm always just trying to just open up the curtain, because there's all these intelligent, creative individuals, you know, all backgrounds that just don't get known, you know. And I mean, even when it came to my book, Where'd You Get Those? New York City Sneaker Culture, 1960-1987, I stopped it at 1987 because that's the era that people didn't really know about, you know. Going to Just for Kicks, you know, I remember being at that Tribeca premiere and the electricity that was felt in that room. I was like on the probably the 10th to last row on the right side, like 2 seats away from the aisle. I remember it like that. You know, I remember the people in the room. I remember the energy. I remember the applause. You know, I remember everything about that film. And afterwards, I was like, yo, man, like, it was during a Q&A. I said something along the lines of like, I thought, because I just written a book, you know, I was like the progenitor of sneaker journalism, and I'm watching this film, and I'm learning mad stuff. So, and I remember saying like, yo, like props. Before I asked my question, I was like, yo, I learned a lot that I thought that I already knew. So it expanded my realm of knowledge. And so props to Thibaut, Lisa Leone, Combe, Cherry, like the whole crew that was part of that process. You know, and I meant what I said. And then, you know, Thibaut and that and his gang put my quote on the cover of the DVD. And for years, like, people thought it was my film. And I was like, no, that's not my film. Like, chill. Like, it was because I was already a public figure and I was very celebrated and I was on TV and radio and
not really. Just did that because the minute you said that, I was done. That's all I needed to hear.
Thank you, Thibaut. I mean, you know, you did a fantastic job, bro. Like, you were the dude to do it.
Thank you.
You know, and I know, I don't know who your editor was, but props to them. Because your whole squad, with, you know, from graphics to the color correction, everything about that film is just so pristine. And I haven't watched it since that premiere. You know,
I haven't watched it. I'm excited. I haven't watched it in a while, I have to say.
Yeah. Like, it was just such a pristine, crystal moment, you know. And speaking about the archives with your Run D.M.C. story, I remember seeing on screen the kid in the audience at the Madison Square Garden concert holding up the Adidas, and it was a black and white. And I think you did like a parallax like effect on it, and that was kind of new at the time. And it was just like, yo, what an F did he fight? Like, and I can identify with that as a researcher and as a documentarian, you know, whether it's been an author or a filmmaker or magazine articles. It's like, you get these blessings when you're in process of, you know, digging, just like, you know, Lord Finesse or, you know, Lost Professor, they land upon things that the universe meant for you to land on. And so I remember that moment. It was like, and it was seeing it full screen, like in a movie theater. It was like, oh my God, God, where the F did he find that? My kid is in the other room. That's why I'm not cursing. Otherwise, I would totally be cursing.
We've seen him run by.
Bobito.
Blessings to him, brother. You know, it's a good thing you're preserving him from all that profanity.
Bobito.
I'm trying.
Bobito, why do you think Just for Kicks became such a defining documentary, and why has there never been anything that's kind of like lift up to the original Just for Kicks? There hasn't been anything else, and sneaker culture has become so big over the years, but it's always still Just for Kicks. There's not anything else. I'm just wondering why it's so defining.
Well, I mean, there's a number of reasons for that. Let's talk about context first. So, just as we have nostalgia about a shoe that we wore in our childhood, the first brand, or the first time you got like that sought after, or your first time you got a one of one customized, whatever it was, like Just for Kicks kind of holds that quality for people who were either in the audience or watched it online, or I don't even think there was streaming back then. So however people saw the DVD, it holds that sort of like tactile strength, and that more than likely you didn't watch that film by yourself. Like if you had the DVD, you probably got with like 8 of your peoples, and then was like, yo, rewind it, like, watch it again or whatever it was, So I think there's that, but then there's also like, when you nail something, you nail it. My book, Where'd You Get Those? New York City Sneaker Culture, 1960, 1987, nailed it. It was released 22 years ago, and still to this day, not one person has come to me like, yo, you forgot to write about, or yo, you didn't include this, or you didn't, it's like, nah, like flawless. And it's funny for me to hear Thibaut be like, it's my first film, there's things I get that, but art is a determination of when you abandon it. And when he abandoned it, he let it go into this space that's only been appreciated and, like he said, first to market, so it's special, it's unique. And then, the trajectory of what sneaker culture has become since is not quite as innocent as it was back then. People talk about reselling, being such this huge phenomenon with StockX and Stadium Goods and all these other things, but like people were reselling back in the 80s. Japan buyers were coming to the US and ravaging through secondhand shops and, closed down sneaker basements. And, I was selling secondhand sneakers in the 90s, cats in Europe, who's my brother A-Side from London, I'm sure Edson was probably flipping, joints too, and so, but that was like this clandestine underground movement, whereas now it's like over the top, it's being spoken about in financial news media outlets and stuff. So, it's like what Thibaut captured was like this rocket, and before the eclipse got seen by the whole world and people were putting their red glasses on, it was like Thibaut was seeing that eclipse, that solar eclipse, and was like, oh, okay, let me put this in a film, I had the idea to put it on paper, and I didn't know that Thibaut, or maybe I did, I don't remember, I didn't know that Thibaut was writing a book as well. Funny enough, I want to shout out Carlos Arias, who was the editor of the Sneakerheads documentary, who I mentored as a kid and I coached. And I was actually the music supervisor for that film. So when it got shelved, I was kind of tight.
Shit, I apologize, brother.
Nah, it's all good. And put some my musician and producer friends on. But I remember the opening scene to that was it started out at A-Life, being the only store that got robbed during the blackout of 2002 or 2003. That's how the film started out. I remember that. And then I think like Nike also had an issue with, do we want to start out with, theft and robbery and, because they're so concerned about their image and, and that's another reason why Just for Kicks fans this test of time is because, and I don't want to sound like a marketer, but it is authentic, right? You have a kid who, you know, loves sneakers, grew up with it, you know, was it. It doesn't matter if he's from Paris or from New York or from, you know, Ghana or, you know, Suriname. It doesn't matter. It's like he gets it correctly, right? And so he brings that to camera, and, you know, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the whole process. I remember, you know, Air Force One, Anatomy of an Urban Myth, and Just for Kids kind of like mesh in my head. They've become kind of like the same film. So there's one of them where like I'm the first person to talk and I'm the last person to talk. I don't know which one it is, or maybe it's in both. I don't know. But it was you know, it was like, it was humbling. You know, it was like at the same time that Thibaut was paying me homage, he was kind of just making me feel blessed to have a voice, you know, and I feel blessed that Edson reached out to me to speak to the audience now, because it's like, I'm not even in the sneaker world like I used to be. You know, you don't see me posting about the new release I just got. Like, you know, I had a conversation with my publisher like a few months ago. I was like, yo, let's just dead the book. She was like, nah. I was like, nah, just dead it. Like, just whoever got it, got it.
Why is that, Bob? Why is that? Why is that you don't want to talk about sneakers no more? I mean, like, you was like 5 steps ahead always, with your own label, the radio, even with the boutique. It was like the first boutique actually in New York City, right? Way before A-Life, way before Dave's Quality Meat, etc., etc. So why not try to celebrate that more?
I mean, you know, my life is just taking pivots, right? I don't live in the city anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing any in-person events at this point. You know, I haven't traveled in 5 years. I'm a caregiver for someone who's disabled. Yeah. So, you know, the idea of, you know, seeking after sneakers, like, I don't have to impress anybody on my block. I live with deer and, you know what I'm saying? Like beavers and birds, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not clocking what I got on my feet. So that's just a, you know, on a personal note.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, you know, the explosion of what sneakers has become, it's no longer clandestine, right? And so we kind of attached ourselves to things that were counterculture, and that's what made it. That's what gave us our affinity. So when things are no longer that and they're mainstream, I'm less likely. I'm not going to deny or dismiss my past, but I'm less likely to be on the forefront of some or cutting edge of something that's still cutting edge. If you approach it the right way, but there's a lot of people who are just mainstream with it, and so it kind of dilutes the power of it.
No, I think for us as fan or whatever you want to call it, it's for us. It's just like very important to celebrate people like you, and I think that's why we need to bring you all the time. If it comes to sneaker culture, it has to be like in one sentence. It has to be a Bobbito has to be in it, even if you don't like it or not. That's the whole.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No, I'm telling you.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Not because you're a funny guy. I like to run with you and whatever. But
is it?
It's dead serious. So that's why, like, when this came up, first thing I said, like, fuck that. I need to have Bobbito on my shit. Why? Because he is the forefront leader for all of us. What we did, what we are doing. You did boutiques before we did boutiques. You did Fondle Em Records. Come on now, fam.
But you're at
this needs to be celebrated.
You're at the age where you need to embrace it. You were the guy doing the research and giving a platform to the people you saw around you. And now you are the guy that gets put on a platform. That I think that's the becoming of age that you went through. So you just have to embrace that, though. Yeah.
I passed the torch. You know, I passed the torch on the radio. When I retired from radio, I passed the torch when I stopped writing about sneakers. It's like, and people ran with it, and I feel good about the platforms out there in plural that I've been able to create for people to prosper and grow from. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's nice. I mean, it's humbling that you bring me into this space, because it's probably like, I don't know who the show of hands, but there's people there who have never seen Just for Kicks. and they're about to see the film, and they're gonna have their mind blown, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this cool. This dude Bob is a cool cat." Like, word, you know?
No, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, but you need to realize that with the coming of age, you also get more and more knowledge, and the extra knowledge that you have now still needs to be let out to people that still need the knowledge. So just bring out the book.
Because it's still very valuable. It's really, really valuable.
We're gonna do a show of hands, all right? Who needs the book? Let's see. It's everyone. It's everyone. No, he doesn't have a camera, so it's everyone.
Also, the deer need to know that you got heat.
And the beavers, though.
Beavers
and the deers.
Yo, the groundhog. I got a groundhog in my backyard, yo. He's trying to burrow in my crib, yo. My life is just so different now, B. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Yo, can I tell a funny story, though?
Yeah, go for it.
Yo, this has to do with sneakers. So I think we was in Bern or Austria or somewhere for sneaker nets. And, you know, I love to run, you know, and Edson is like, yo, I'm gonna go run tomorrow morning. Come with me. I was like, I bet. So that was a big mistake, yo. That's a big mistake. Cause this dude, you know, he run like, 30 miles, backwards, like, and we start running, and I'm like, yo, we getting far from the hotel, bro. Like, we turn around. He's like, nah, we gonna go this way.
This is the warming up.
Oh my, yo. Now I know why he got 200 pairs of sneakers. Cause he ran, he ran 5 miles at the end. I never ran that many. I ran 4 miles in my life, but I never ran 5. We ran 5 miles, and I was like, yo, man, this dude is for real. So I got so much respect for Edson's stamina, yo. You kidding me? And we got lost in that city, and he got me back to the hotel. I was like, thank God.
Bobbito, we really love to talk some more, but with our eyes on the clock, we really like to thank you for your time and your contribution. And thanks for everything, man.
Yeah, people are going to see you some more, of course, on the screen because you're in the documentary.
Yes.
So thank you for your time. It was like Tim already said, we could sit here all night, talk to you, and listen to all the stories.
No doubt. All right, fellas.
Nothing but love and respect.
Film, man. Peace, much love.
That's right.
So there might be some time left after the documentary. I don't know, because we're already overtime.
Yeah.
Maybe to ask some questions to Thibaut or anybody of us, if you guys want in the audience. But yeah, just want to mention that. And of course, you all, like I already said, you all will receive a gift. And the bar is still open afterwards, so you can have a drink and mingle. Exactly.
Right.
For now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's watch this movie.
Fondle Em.
Yeah.